Welcome everyone to this game where Samay Raina is in USA. He's at the Boston Chess Club and he's going to play against a person who runs tournaments. They're a handshake here and Samay opens with e4, e5. They're playing a very serious game of 15 minutes and there's a delay, it seems. He goes knight to f6 and I think there's some joke where maybe they played a game already before this and Samay castles. Generally you save this pawn with d3 and black takes the pawn on e4 and now Samay has to prove his compensation because rook e1 is met with d5. So he pushes his pawn to d4 and a good move here by black, pawn to d5. So Samay already a pawn down in this position, but we know Samay, he loves to play with compensation. He goes bishop b5. Now he's threatening to take the pawn here. He takes d4. Seems the most logical move. If you take with the knight, I'll go bishop d7. So he takes with the queen. Can't take the queen as there's a pin here. Bishop e6 played, defending the pawn. Maybe a better move was queen d7, but that's not so easy to break the pin. But okay, bishop e6. Samay jumps in, knight to e5. And now the queen comes up to d6. White definitely has compensation now. Knight to c3 is an excellent move. You go here and after takes, you could even take with the pawn, threatening c4. Maybe at some point bishop a3. But he takes on c6. B takes c6. And Samay is thinking where to bring out his pieces. And he brings out bishop f4, a very smart move. Threat is knight g6, attacking the queen and also the rook. Pawn comes up to c5, attacking the queen. Now you have to give a check or else you are in trouble. Black is already a pawn up. He's getting a lot of play. Check. Bishop drops back to d7. Now the funny thing is if you take here attacking the queen will take back. So Samay goes queen b3, a good move. And queen to e6 played. Now Samay pushes off the knight on e4. The knight comes back. And you can already sense the black king in the center. Something's going to happen. Knight to c3 played. And he's attacking the pawn here. Samay is not afraid of pawn to d4. Queen b7 would be a very powerful move then. He goes pawn to c4. A good move. And black is playing really well. Both players also making good use of their time. Queen to b7 attacking the rook. A check comes in. Maybe a check with the queen would have been better to trade queens. But bishop check. King h1. And now short castle. So black has managed to get his king to safety. And now knight takes d7. Takes off the bishop here. Queen takes d7. And Samay can finally regain his pawn with queen takes c7. But he doesn't. He's like, I'm going to continue the play. He goes rook d1. d4 is possible to sort of save the pawn, also gain some space. But he goes pawn to c6 and you could see Samay not really happy, allowing black that very strong central position. Look at the time on the clock. Samay has 9 minutes. He starts to think, he starts to calculate there. He nods his head, takes, knight takes, and is he going for it? Oh my god, he's going to sacrifice his knight. He gives a look to his opponent there. Black is like, what the hell is happening? A double attack here. Rook attacks the knight and the bishop, but the knight is defended and Samay brings the rook. Whoa, amazing calculation here by Samay. And now don't take the knight twice as there's a back rank made and Samay is like, oh my god, I missed it. But it's not a big deal. Just move your pawn forward. And it seems like what a game this is, filled with so many emotions here. And bishop c7, a beautiful move here. It seems like Samay's turned the tables because rook is hanging. Rook has to move and the knight is falling. Oh, nice one. Rook c8 takes the knight, and now Samay is the one who's pawn up. Can you believe it? From being a pawn down. h6, getting rid of back rank issues. And now you can trade the rooks. Imagine if all the rooks are traded here because of the pin, there's no back rank. So now rook takes, and this is a pawn up bishop endgame. Can Samay find this? No, he goes bishop d6. He's trying to trade the bishops. Maybe that's not the best trade here. When you are pawn up, it might be good to go into a bishop endgame, not a rook endgame, because many rook endgames are kind of drawish in nature. Bishop goes back to b6, keeps the bishops on the board, and a nice move there by Samay going bishop b4. The bishop can nicely be placed on c3 later. Rook e2, going for the 7th heaven, the 7th rank. Come back to d2 as a defense. Ooh, Samay was about to play c pawn there, and he pushes c3. And now b2 is hanging, unfortunately. So the pawn is gone, but he goes rook e8. He's trying to threaten a mate in one again. Samay is too strong now to miss this. Rook takes b2 taken, and a4, a5 is what you want to do. He comes back, rook to d2, and the other rook moves in. The game is getting intense. The endgame part is always very tough to calculate and keep everything under control. a2 pawn under pressure, and Samay now, I guess, has to push the pawn forward. a3 is also possible. He goes a4. Bishop f2, and this is a nice move. He's not only attacking h4, but he wants to put his bishop on g3. And Samay goes in with a check. King h7, calmly played, quickly played. 6 minutes for Samay, 8 minutes here for black. Rook d7 played. He's trying to attack here, but notice how after bishop g3, there's a mate here threatened. And what I love about this game is that black is constantly trying to checkmate Samay, and Samay comes back. He's like, okay, I give that bringing my rook into your position wasn't the best, and now black is outplaying white because look at the bishop, better placed, rook better placed, king is coming into the game. Maybe bd6 to trade off bishops is the best. No, he comes king g1. And now can we go king f5? But actually speaking, there are no real entry points into the white camp. So it's not so simple here. King g1, and he plays rook to c2. Okay, maybe black is going after this pawn, bishop e5, and take here on c3. King f1 does make sense. It's a good move. And now he plays his bishop to e5, and Samay now has a very cool move at his disposal. He has the move h5. And these are the tactics that GMs find. Takes, rook d5, pinning. Oh my god, he finds it. h5 on the board. That's a very nice one. King f5, black doesn't fall for it. And goes rook d5, pinning the bishop. But can you go king e6? Goes f6 first. And rook to c4. Well, Samay is going after the pawn. He's kind of made his king safe on f1, and he's going after the c4 pawn. Now black once again coming in, trying for this mating pattern. Takes the pawn with a check. King e3. Well, maybe you can give a check again here and kick the king away. Yes, that's a good move. Check, because there was a mate threatened on c1. King d3. And bishop f8. Whoa. Samay somehow managed to fix all of the black pawns on dark squares. Bishop g3 once again threatening checkmate. What's up? Rook d4, only move. Finds it. Check. Samay has 3 minutes now. King takes c3, has to come back with his rook to defend. Very important. He does it. Rook to d1. And now check. King g1 and king c2. Ooh, that's not a great move, because now Samay gets a winning position. Rook a1. He plays rook f1, which is equally fine. Of course, you can't trade the rooks. If you trade rooks, g7, h6, f6, everything's falling. You have to keep the rooks on the board. Rook d2. But even then, white would take the pawn on g7 and white would be better. 5 minutes for black and 3 minutes for Samay. I'm pretty sure they're playing with a time control that has a delay. Delay is slightly different. Oh, he takes it. King takes, and now Samay is winning. Totally winning in this bishop endgame. You know, Samay actually won the Super Pog Champs and everyone was surprised, but this game quality already shows that he is closing in on a very good level of play. Hardly making any blunders, spotting all the tactics. Bishop f4, and now he chops off the pawn on g7. The only issue here to note is that if black saves both these pawns, black king could potentially go and pick up this pawn here on a4. King f2 played, nice move. King b3, he's going after the pawn on a4 and will have his own passer. But Samay finds g3, very nice move. If bishop g5, he can play f4 and then pick this up. So bishop to d2, and I love this move, f4. Lovely move here. Bishop c3 played. The point is, if you take here, maybe he wants to trade, but Samay takes on h6, king a4. And now a very nice move is bishop f8, h6. Finds it again. h6, bishop g7, and then queening the pawn. King b3, h6. King b3 played. And now bishop g7, trading the bishops. It's very nice because after take, the pawn queens with a check. And that's the reason why white is winning. And he resigns. Samay wins and waves to the camera. And of course, both the players really enjoyed the game. It was a nice one there.